Good day, students. I've been asked by one of your lecturers to do this video for you, and I've been told that you've done AutoCAD before, so I'm going to teach a bit and show a lot of things. So I'm going to be zooming through it fairly quickly, assuming you know some things, but I'll try to touch up and brush up on things as best I can. Right, people, when you open your AutoCAD, that's what the screen looks like. Um, I'm going to try to work through most of a drawing, which looks like this. I'm going to try to work through most of that drawing and teach you all these following commands again. There's the commands. Hopefully after this one drawing is worked through, there's the drawing commands, line hatch, circle hatch. Then of course you can only edit or modify, as AutoCAD calls it. You can only modify or edit the drawing once it's been done. And of course we're going to do a bit of trim, extend, offset, erase, move and hatch, etc. As I said, I'm going to take this, trying to make this video as short as possible. And then to be able to do a drawing effectively, we need to create a layer. And of course, with layers, we can change the colors and the line types. And of course, I think you all know that when you have a drawing, the drawing consists of various line types like continuous lines, dashed lines, hatch lines, etc. Just give me a sec. As I was saying, yeah, so you get in layers, you get different types of, for the drawing, you get a continuous line to show hard edges you can see with your eye. Then, of course, you get dashed lines, which edges you can't see. Then, of course, you get center lines, which is imaginary lines normally running along the center of an object. Or AutoCAD shows it like this: a short dash, a space, a long dash, space, and so on, so on, so on. Okay, so to be able to do that, we need to create layers. Okay, and of course we can change the colors. Colors normally just means you can assign a color to a, in the early days when you print a drawing, you can assign a color to a pen thickness, but of course colors to drawings just makes it easy to see. And of course, without dimensions, a drawing is just a pretty picture. Okay, and linear, radius, diameter, aligned, continue are some of the few that we would like to cover. Then of course, without notes on a drawing can mean little, but we're gonna use text to add some notes in, and of course save and print as well. Okay, so people, so at the end of the lesson, hopefully we'd have covered all these commands. It's pretty much to go through, but I'll do my best. Okay, so let's start the drawing. There's my drawing. Right, now people, now the drawing that I'm going to do is on an A4 page. Okay, so that means I'm not going to worry about scale or changing scales or bumping this up or bumping that down to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to do this drawing full size on an A4 page. So whatever text I type in and whatever text I type in, if I say the text is going to be 8 millimeters high, it's going to be 8 millimeters high on my drawing. Okay, so I'm going to draw 1-to-1 on an A4 page size. Okay, right, let's do the drawing. I'm going to start here, and I am going to go, I can either go from there clockwise to that point or go anti-clockwise back to that point there. Okay, now just a note, let me go to another page here somewhere. Right, so when I do the drawing, I'm going to start the drawing. I'm going to go sort of like, let me just take a quick see what it looks like. There's my drawing there. Okay, I am going to go like this. Okay, like that, like so. And then I'm going to go to that corner. Then I'm going to go over there to that corner and come back to there. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, meaning I'm going to start there, follow that there, go from there to that corner, go all the way to that corner and come back. Okay, so that curve there and that curve, or fillet as AutoCAD calls it. So I'm going to go to that corner there, and we're going to put in a fillet over there and a fillet here and a fillet there, like so, according to the radius given there. And then, so that will pretty much be the shape of our plate. And then I'm going to ascertain or find the centers of those three circles there, which is going to be that center there, that center there, that center there. Drawing the circle, drawing that circle, drawing that circle, put in those tangent lines, which is hidden, which is dashed lines, and then put in the dimensions, type in the text, and pretty much that will be the drawing done. I'll add a few more things in on the drawing which isn't there, just to show some like for example, I'm gonna hatch those circles there, just to show you what hatching does or how you can hatch, because I think you might need hatching in your drawing that you're going to do for your lecture. Okay, right, so let's fire away. Right, I am going to go to line, and line. Now, if you, like for example, I typed in line, I clicked on line there for line, and notice there, this here, this bottom line is called the command line. Okay, it's a very important line. It talks to you as you go. Okay, if now you can see there it says line specify first point. Let's say I want to draw a circle, but I picked line by mistake. I'm not happy. I can't go to circle and start my circle. No, I need to clear the command line by hitting my escape button once. So I hit escape, left hand corner on my keyboard, and it's clear. Only once it's clear there, AutoCAD is waiting for a command. We can start a new command. So if you in a spot some anyway and you want to get out of it, hit escape. I normally hit it once or twice. Okay, right, so I can either type in the word line. Okay, you can see it's coming up there, and notice that as I type in, it gives me options. Okay, if I type in L, you can see all options with L come up. If I type in I, any of the full, all or the full word, all of those options there that uses those letters to come up will be there. I can either click on line, and I can start to draw my line. Okay, I'm going to escape. What we're going to do, I think as I've taught you in the past, just go to line there, click on line, and there we go. And move your cursor. This here is your drawing area. Okay, and that's the two ways to call up a command. Or I can just type in L for line. Okay, hit enter, and there we go. So I can either type in the first capital line letter of the command, or the first two commands. For example, if I type in C, enter, it can either mean circle, or if I type in CP, it means copy. Okay, so CP is for copy, C is for circle. Okay, so if you type in C and CP distinguishes between the two commands. Okay, I'm going to escape from that. Right, so there's three ways to enter a command, but we normally going to pick it off we call this the ribbon here. So this is the home ribbon, this is the insert ribbon, this is the annotate or dimensioning ribbon, and that's the view ribbon, and so on and so on. But we're going to be on the home ribbon almost all of the time for this exercise. Right, so I'm going to go to line, and I'm going to start this point, sorry. I'm going to start this point somewhere over here with my eye. Okay, so I'm going to click somewhere over there, specify first point. Now, I want that line, I want all these lines to be either vertical or horizontal. Okay, and there's a command for that. It's called ortho. So I'm going to switch ortho on or ortho off. Now, at the bottom here is my command line, or rather my status bar. That's my status bar there, and you can see it can do a whole lot of things. We mainly going to do ortho on, ortho off. So you'll see there that if I click that there once, it's blue. That means it's now been activated or enabled. So whichever way I move my cursor, the lines are only going to be vertical or horizontal. If I click it again, it goes off, and it can go anywhere I want it to go. So I want to turn it on. Okay, so we're mainly going to use ortho on, ortho off, and we can use object snap over there. All the others we're not going to get to. Right, now the nice thing about ortho is I want to draw this line 36 millimeters to the right. Well, AutoCAD doesn't know if it's millimeters or inches or kilometers, but we're going to work in millimeters. I want my line to be 36 millimeters to the right, and with ortho on, I'm going to pull my line in the direction I want it to go, and I'm going to type in 36, and of course hit enter. I'm going to zoom out. So I can show on the screen there. So from there to there is 36 units along there, which is quite nifty. It's quite smart. Okay, right. And then I want to go up 6, and then I pull my cursor in the direction I want it to go, and I hit 6 millimeters there. So there's 6 there. Hit enter, and it's 6 millimeters long. And so I'm going to continue all around my drawing there. So I'm going to be 6 up, 7 right, 6 down, 24 to the right, 16 over, and so on and so on. So I'm going to continue until there, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do from this point onwards over there. Okay, right, so I'm going 7 over, sorry, then I'm going 7 over. Sorry, man, what's my machine doing? I think I've done something wrong there. Okay, right, so I want to go 7, I want to go 7 to the right and 6 down. Okay, I pull my cursor in that direction. So 7 across, 6 down. I'm going 24 to the right. You have a copy of the drawing there. So we have already. And then I'm going 16 up. And I'm going 52 across. And of course, I'm going to come 16 down again. And then I'm going to go 52 to the right. Okay. And I'm going to turn auto off. Right, so I'm now sitting at that point over there. Okay. So I can either go 13 up or 21 up and then draw the line up there manually and erase those two. But no, we're going to be a little smarter. Okay. From there to there with auto off, I'm going to draw my line 13 along the X and 21 along the Y. Okay. And watch I enter that. Okay. So it says specify next point. So it's 13 X 21 along the Y. I hit enter. And there we go. Okay. So I went 13 along the X and 21 along the Y. And of course, as you know, AutoCAD measures plus X to the right, minus X to the left horizontally, plus Y is vertically upwards, and minus Y is vertically downwards. Okay, right. So I now want to go again 26 up. Okay, then I'm going to go from there to that corner. I'm going to go 7 left, and I'm going to go 36 up to that corner there, like I explained in my sketch over there. I'm going to go to that corner there, from there to that corner there, and go to the end. Okay, and my drawing is basically done. Right, so I'm going to go 26 up. I'm going to put auto back on. Then I'm going to go 7 to the left. I'm going to zoom out slightly. And then I'm going to go 36 to the top corner. And then I'm going to go, right, now I can do a bit of mathematics. I can go right across there. But no, I'm going to just draw it out there. Hit enter to break it. Just click to the end there. Hit enter to break it off there. Okay, so I just draw a long line. You do construction line on your drawing page. Go to line, right. Now, over here, very, very important, is object snap. Okay. Now, I'm going to right click on there. Right click on that. I'm going to go to object snap settings. Okay. Right. Now, notice there, the default settings for object snap is endpoint, midpoint, and intersection. They checked. All the others are not checked. So that means as I draw, and when I turn this on, that being blue or enable, AutoCAD is going to look for an endpoint, and when it finds it, it gives you a little green square. AutoCAD is going to look for a midpoint. If it finds it, it's going to give you a little green triangle. And as you draw AutoCAD, when it finds an intersection, it will show you a green cross like that over there. Okay. And if you pick the endpoint of lines, or you pick the centers of circles or intersections with your eye, that means with object snap off, you're actually just guessing. Okay? And you're going to pick a point in space where you think it's going to be, and that's just going to be absolutely wrong. Okay? And you might not be able to see it, but when you come to dimension your drawing, and if a drawing is a bump drawing, it's going to give you the dimensions. It's going to give you that same bump dimensions, which you don't want. Okay? So let's do it correctly from the first time. Right. So I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to turn it on. So when I draw now, if I just quickly right click there again, as I draw, I'm going to turn this off. As I draw now, AutoCAD is going to look for intersections, midpoints, and endpoints. Okay, I'm going to escape to clear that window. Right, so I'm going to go to line, specify an endpoint. I'm going to snap to there. Now watch here, it's found an endpoint. Now let me turn this off here again. If I go to line, I can't find it. But if I go to there with my eye, like so, and I zoom in, can you see there? If I guessed it, it looks like that. That's just bad. We do not draw without object snap unless we're making a quick sketch. Okay, I'm going to escape. I'm going to start again. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out slightly so you can see there. I'm going to turn object snap on, and I'm going to line. I'm going to snap to there. See that auto is on, which it is, and I'm going to draw a line up to there, snap to there, hit enter to break off the command, and I'm going to turn those two off. Okay, I'm going to trim to show you. Edit. I'm going to do trim now. Okay, right. So there's my trim, my scissors. I go to trim. Now you see there's a little arrow there. There's a drop down box. See, if I hit the drop down there, trim and extend are opposite commands. The one cuts it off, the one makes it longer. So what AutoCAD does, it groups similar commands with each other. Okay, if I just clear that. If I go to circle, for example, you'll see there's 6 ways to draw a circle. Okay, but the tool that I'm going to show you in this exercise is radius and diameter. Okay, and just by the way, while I'm at it, if I click the center radius option, if I click that option, AutoCAD is going to ask me for the center, it's going to ask me for the radius. That is how AutoCAD works. If I choose the center diameter option, AutoCAD is going to ask me for the center, it's going to ask me for the diameter. Okay, if I click the tangent radius option, AutoCAD is going to ask me, where's the first tangent? Where's the second tangent? What's the radius of my tangent? Okay, that is how AutoCAD works. Okay, I'm going to clear that. Right, so I want to trim this. Go to trim. Right, it says there, select the object to trim. So I want that one to trim. And notice there, it makes it, it sort of grays it out with a little cross. It says, is this the object you want to trim? Yes. And I click on that. And I click on that. I enter to break off the command, and my trim is done, and these two corners look absolutely fabulously. Okay, they look great. They are trimmed right off at that intersection there. Right, my drawing is looking like this, and now I'm going to put in those 3 radii over there. 1 radius, many radii. Okay, right. If I go to my drawing, that's a 40, that's a 10, that's a 7. Right, and that's what I do. I go to fillet. Now fillet, chamfer and blended curves are sitting under there. So I'm going to go to fillet. Now, notice there at the bottom there, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options. I've got an undo option, polyline, radius, trim, multiple. And notice there, the capital letters of those commands is in blue. So that means if I type R for radius, which is the option I want, so the radius, the default radius in AutoCAD is 0. But I want to change my radius to 40. So I'm going to type R for radius. Let me start that again. I'm going to go to fillet. I'm going to type in R for radius. It says special. So you see there, the default setting is 0. I'm going to make it 40. 40, enter. It says select first object. So that's going to be my first object. That's going to be my second object. Doesn't matter the order. I can make that the first object. I can make that the second object. And notice there, it's doing it for me. If I click on that one there, and it's done smartly. It blends that. Can you see there? It blends the curve and that straight line. That curves perfectly like it's supposed to be. There's no corners there. There's no openings. It's great. Okay, let's do this one here. That one up there is, that one up there is, right. So I go to radius. When I get there, right, go to radius. Now I'm going to type in R for radius. Let me just R, enter. And notice there, it remembers the last one you put in there. You can remember the 40 as long as until you change it. So I want to change it to 10. So I'm going to change it to 10, enter. Specify my first object, specify my next one, and it's done. It's looking great. Okay, I'm going to put in one over there, and it is 7. And because it's not 10, I need to change the radius too. So type in R for radius. Now I'll change it to 7. Notice it's 10. Specify my first object. Doesn't matter the order. That one there and that one there. And it's looking absolutely superb. Okay. So my plate is done. I need to just draw in the circles, but I need to exactly ascertain where those centers are first. There's different ways to do it. This is what I'm going to do. Okay. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to offset the distance from there. I'm going to offset the distance from there to there by an amount of 42. Okay, and that's the editing command. If I go back to my editing commands, we're going to do that command over there. Okay, and then I'm going to offset that line. I'm going to offset that line 46 to there. So once I got that offset sitting over there, that over there, and once those two intersect each other there, I'm going to be able to determine the center of that circle exactly. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to offset and offsets over there. Okay, right. It says specify offset distance. And the distance from there to there is 42. So I'm going to type in 42. I'm going to say 42, enter. Now it says, which object do I want to offset? I say, I want that over there. Right. It says, which side do I want it? Now notice there, if I move my cursor above this line, it thinks it's there. Or if I move it below, it thinks it's over there. I don't want it there. I want it over there. So I click anywhere above this line and hit enter to break it off. And there's my line done. Okay. So from there to there is exactly 42 millimeters. So I've drawn that line in over there. Okay. I need to offset this line 40 to that way there. So let's do that. So I go to offset. And notice there, it remembers to 42 there. I'm going to change it to, I think 40 is the dimension. So I'm going to offset what? Which side? Over there. Here we go. Okay. But that line, I'm going to need to intersect that line with that line. Now watch this. Quite smart. Okay. I'm going to go to extend. Okay. I'm going to extend that line to that boundary edge over there. AutoCAD calls it the boundary edge. So I click on there and I go to extend, select the object to extend. There we go. It sees it and it knows it's to the left. I click there, I hit enter, and it's job done. And it extends to that line exactly correctly. And that intersection there is now the center of my circle. So I can draw my circle exactly in the right place where it's supposed to go. Okay. Right. I'm zooming in. Right. So let's draw in the circle. And now I'm going to go to circle. And if you look at the drawing, the circles there are described by the diameters. So I'm going to choose the center diameter option in AutoCAD. I'm going to go to circle the drop down and I'm going to choose center diameter. Right. Specify center point. See that your object snap is on. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to zoom in. So now watch there. If I didn't zoom in, it might pick the end by mistake. And you're going to draw your circle in the wrong point. Zoom in. And I want it to actually be over there. And I pull it out. And notice, I found the center point. The diameter is 26. I 26, enter. And there we go. And my circle is drawn absolutely perfectly in the right place. Okay. Next circle. The next circle is 13 up. So I'm going to offset this line 30 millimeters above it. And then I'm going to offset this line 55 millimeters to the left. And with that and that intersect each other, that's going to be the center of my 50 millimeter diameter circle. So let's go ahead and do that. Right. I'm going to offset. Offset there. And I'm going to change my distance to 13. Offset what? I'm going to offset that above there. Yes, not below there, above there. Click there. And it's done. Okay. Right. Then I'm going to offset this line here, 55 millimeters to the left. Sorry, 55 from there to there. So I go to offset. I want it to be 55. Enter. Offset what? I want that there. I don't want it there. I want it this side. Click there to say I want it there. Hit enter to break it off and it's done. Have I found my center exactly? No. I need those two to meet up there. So I go to extend and notice there, I didn't say this. Notice there, when I go to extend, when I went in the first time, the trim command is sitting there. When a bunch of commands are sitting together and I select a command, AutoCAD puts it at the top now because it thinks you want to use it every time. So notice extend is sitting at the top there. Very useful. AutoCAD is intuitive in that way. So I extend. Right. I didn't do that correctly. Extend. Select the object. I want it over there. And yippee! It sees it, and it sees that line there. And it sees it. Now, just by the way, if that line was stopping over there somewhere, it will not see it and it say, can't see an object to extend. It must be able to see that boundary edge there. Okay. Hit enter. Break up the command. Zoom in. And there's the center of my circle. Right, once again, circle diameter will be sitting at the top now, specify center point. I want it at the intersection of those two lines there, and the diameter is going to be 50 millimeters. And there's my circle exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay, it's looking good so far. A bit rough, but it's accurate. Okay, I want to draw in this other circle over here. That one there. Oops. And that circle sits here. So if I take that corner and I draw it out, take this corner, draw it out where they intersect, that will be the center of my diameter 6 millimeter diameter circle. Right. See that auto is on? That's on there. I'm going to go to line, draw a line from there to there, pull it out. Just click anywhere there, hit enter, go to line, snap to there, pull it up anywhere there, click there, hit enter to break it off. That's the center of my 6 millimeter diameter circle. Okay, I go to click on center diameter, specify center point. Notice there, that's little, if I didn't zoom in, I need to go to the intersection of those two lines, snap to it. What's the diameter? It is 6. And there we go, and there we go. And it's perfect. Okay, and those lines there, we can now erase them. And erase them is one of the editing commands over there. Okay, so let's go and erase them because we actually want to put in center lines there, but we've got in construction lines. So I'm going to go in there and erase those lines which we use to determine the centers of the circles there. So go to erase the pencil rubber. Click there, zoom in, zoom out. Click there, I'm picking them. There's different ways to erase. There's different ways. You can put windows around them. But because we got some little objects, entities on the subject, I'm going to pick them one by one. Click there. And notice there AutoCAD will continue saying select objects, but there's no more. Hit enter. And they're all gone and our drawing is looking nice and tidy. Okay, right, next step. We're going to need to put in the center lines for the circles. Okay, we're going to put the center lines for the circles, and we're going to need to put in the dash tangent lines there. But before we can do that, notice there when we go to layers, creating layers is sitting under layer properties there. We've been drawing on layer 0, which you shouldn't do, but anyway, that's not important for your little exercise. And the lines were white. What? Because the background is white, it draws it black, and the lines are of a continuous line type. We need to change that now. So now we're going to go ahead and we go to create layers. We're going to change the colors. We're going to change the line types. So we're going to draw lines that look like center lines and lines that look like dash lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Right, we're going to create a layer, which is over there. And I'm going to see that my caps are on. It doesn't matter. Caps on, caps off for AutoCAD doesn't really matter. And I'm going to call my first layer, I'm going to call it centers. And give it a name that you know. So when you look at the layer name, you know it's on there, centers. And I'm going to change that to color red. I click on the word color. I don't click on the print. Don't click on the lock. That's going to change things and it's going to make it go nuts. Don't change all that. Change on the name of the color white. And you see a color palette will come up. And we're going to make it red. It says it's red. I'm okay. And it's red. Okay. And we want to make it a center line type. So I click on the word continuous. Not on default. Not on north. On the word continuous. Right. And there's your line types layer. Library showing up. Now somewhere inside AutoCAD there's a whole library of line types. We're going to go in there and pull it up and choose the ones we want. So we're going to go to load, and what load does, it fetches that whole library of line types. And you can see that if I scroll down there, there's millions of them, millions. Okay, but we only want one, and it gives the name of it. It gives the description, like what AutoCAD calls it, and it gives you a little picture of what it looks like. So I'm gonna go to center, layer center. Let's call that there, and it's gonna look like that. Let me go to center 2, but smaller. So I choose center 2, and I say okay. Now notice at this point, continuous is still selected. If I hit OK, nothing has happened. All that I've done, I've loaded that line type layer into my drawing. I need to still change that line type layer to the one I want. I go back there, I click on it again, and I say OK, and now it's changed to center to line type. Okay. And I'm going to create another layer for my dashed lines. I'm going to say new. I'm going to call it, let's say, dashed. No, or let's call it tangents, for example. Tangents. I must learn to spell properly, isn't it? There we go. And I'm going to make it blue. Make it blue. And I'm going to click on, and I'm going to say load. And I'm going to go down looking for D for dash, alphabetical order. That's what AutoCAD does. It alphabetizes everything, so it's easy to find it. And I am going to take my dashed line type. I'm going to say OK that. And I'm going to click on my layer dashed again to say I want that to be dashed over there. Okay, so I've created the layer centers. I've created the layer tangent. And I'm going to create a layer text as well. So and the reason why we create layers is to have more controls of our drawing. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my drawing. I'm going to say text, and I'm going to leave it blue. I'm going to create another one, and I'm going to call it dimensions. You'll see later why we're going to give it on a new layer. Dimensions, this is the correct, yes. And I'm going to make it magenta, the purple color over there, the purple color. Okay, so there we go. And oh, by the way, text and dimension should always be continuous, always, always, always. Okay, what AutoCAD does, it always takes the attributes of the one above it, so just make sure that's correct. So click on dashed, I want it continuous. There we go. So layer 0 and text and dimensions are all continuous, and centers a center 2 line type, and tangents is dash line type. Okay, right. I'm going to close that. There we go. Now watch here. This is a shortcut under my shortcuts here. If I click on that, all my layers are sitting there. Okay, so if I click on centers now, it's going to be red and it's going to be of that particular line type. So let's go ahead and make the centers layer our current line type. I'm going to click on it. There we go. Okay, right. So I'm going to draw a line from the center at this way at there, and I'm going to draw it in. I'm going to see that my object snap is on and that my ortho is on, because I want it horizontal and vertical. I'm going to zoom in slightly there. Right. So people, what I'm going to do, now sometimes object snap, okay, I'm going to go there and I'm going to say right click there, and I'm going to put center as an option, so that when I draw now, AutoCAD, it's going to look for the center of that circle, and when it finds the center, it's going to present me with a little green circle. Okay, right, so I'm going to go to line, and notice as I hover over the center, even though it's hovering here, it's found the center of the circle over there. So I snap to it and I pull it out to my left like so there, and I hit enter. Now that's not looking right. Let me just see something here. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. A little small, it's the wrong button there. Right, people, we're drawing the line from there to there. So, and we're going to draw a line from there to there, and so that it looks like a drawing over there. Okay, but I'm sure one thing you notice there, the line type doesn't look like a center line. So what we need to do, we need to change the line type scale. So I type out the scale, and notice there it gives me options there. I can either click off there or hit enter at this point, and notice the line type scale, the default line type scale for any AutoCAD drawing is always 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it, let's say, 0.4. 0.4, and there we go. Okay, so what the line type scale just means is that the length of that line, the length of that space, the length of the short line, the length of the space, the length of the long chain line is set in the program. So because it was just one long line, so those spaces were close to each other. Right, so I made it 0.4. If I'm not happy with it, I can do undo, which is up there. I can hit undo. I can undo it, and I go to LT scale again. Let's say, and I'm going to make it 0.3, enter. I'll leave it there for now. Okay, let's continue drawing. I'm happy with it. Change it to what you like, but you must show it as a center line. Okay, go to line, from this end point to there, click there, hit enter. Line from there to there, click there, hit enter to break it off. Line from the end point there, and look like that. it's beginning to look not like Christmas, no. It's beginning to look like a center line there. Oh, that line there, I need to pull it out further. Right, I need to pull it out further. Let me change. Let me go erase it quickly. I'm gonna erase. There we go. Go to line from there, and I'm gonna pull it out somewhere. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it out sort of halfway between those two. I'm gonna pull it out to somewhere over. Let me start again. Didn't like me going out there. I'm gonna put somewhere over. There we go. Hit click, hit enter, and there we go. So because I need to put the dimension line in there as well of 13. Okay, when I get there. Right, and let's put the center lines in for all the other circles. All right, I'm gonna go to line. Found the center. No, I didn't want it, did I? No, hang on. Sorry. Just undo that. Right, I need to pull it out like so. So it's about that line there, because we want to put the dimension in there, okay? So I go to line, pull a line from there, like so there. Looking like that, and of course we need to draw the same that we start to quickly, okay? I don't repeat this because you know what to do this now. Line from the center. I'm just entering twice, and because this line is so short, we can't see the line type scale correctly. Don't worry, that's okay. There we go. Okay, so that's looking like a drawing over there. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to put in is those tangents over there. Okay, right. So going back to my drawing, so I'm gonna right click on there, and I'm gonna turn tangent on, and I'm gonna turn off intersections because that might interfere with the drawing. Okay, that's not the only way to do it, but that's a way to do it. So when I draw now, I want AutoCAD to look for tangents only, and when it sees a tangent, it's going to present you with a little green circle with a line like that over there. Okay, right. So I'm going to go to my tangents layer there. I'm going to make it I'm going to enable that layer. It's going to be blue, and it should have a dash look about it. Go to line, and let's find the tangent, and from there, find the tangent there, snap to it, hit enter, and there we go. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, I'm going to do the other 3 line. Notice there, it's found the tangent. I must pick up correctly. There's a tangent there, and if you go there, it's going to be there, and it's going to be wrong. I'm going to undo that. You need to show AutoCAD right end of the drawing, snap to it, yes, hit enter, and there we go. Okay, go to line, tangent from, snap to tangent over there, hit enter, and I go to specify first point, specify next point, and there we go. Okay, so there's my drawing. So in fact, my drawing is actually done. I need to just dimension it. Okay, so we've done all of that. We've done all of that. We're now over there. Okay, right. So, and because I'm gonna dimension, I'm gonna go to layer dimensions, and we expect it to be of a magenta or purpley color. Okay, right. Now, people, I'm gonna just do the bottom end here and a few others. I'm not gonna do all of it because once I do the bottom end, you can do the others because others repeat over that over there. Right, I've zoomed that slightly, and I'm giving myself space at the bottom here. Right now, if I go to my drop down there, there's all the options that we're gonna use: linear, aligned, angular, etc. Radius. So we're gonna use linear. We might use that. We're gonna use radius, diameter, and so on. And there's another one sitting under the annotate ribbon there, which is gonna be called continue, which is a useful one. Okay, right. I'm going back to home, and I'm gonna go say linear. Now, AutoCAD says specify the first extension line origin. Right? So we need to dimension from that corner there to that corner there. That corner there, AutoCAD calls it a extension line origin because that line there, AutoCAD calls it an extension line. It's looking for the origin. you must see that your snaps are on and put auto off. Might confuse things. Okay, so there's my first one. Sorry, specify express external origin. Sorry, right click there, turn that off, and put endpoint and midpoint on. Okay, it's found an endpoint. Did you notice there wasn't a green square? It was guessing. So there's snap to that there. Right, and then it says where is the second one? It says, sorry, it says where's the second one over there? It's over there. So I snap to it over there, and there's my first dimension. Okay, now when you dimension by hand, you don't do it there. You do not put it there, it's too far. You don't put it there unless you space. So the distance from there to the dimension line is about 15-20 millimeters away in a drawing. So so wherever I click now, that's where my dimension line is going to sit. If I click there, and it's job done. And notice it's 36, and because my drawing is correct and perfect, it measures it at 36. So if you had a bum drawing, if you guess another dimension, it will give you a bum dimension. But because it's 36, it's looking so lekker, like proper. Right, now I want to dimension the 7 from there, okay? But I want to continue from there. So what I do is, I go to annotate, and I go to continue. Okay, now what it does, it says specify the second extension line origin. It's asking you, hello, where's that point there? Because it knows where that is, wants to know where that point is. Right, so I snap to it there like so. Yippee, and it's 7. And it's going to continue until you stop. So I'm going to go there, it's 24. I'm going to go there, yippee, it's looking good. I should do the 20, and the 13 is not there, but it's up there. Snap to there. There we go. And I hit enter to say there's no more. I escape, and that whole line is done perfectly correctly without guessing it. Isn't it great? It looks just super duper. Okay, the font is a bit different, but our fonts, by the way, the fonts used in AutoCAD, the default fonts is Arial. Okay, this drawing here, I think it's on that drawing there is Tacoma or Tahoma, I think, but I'm not going to talk about that now. So, but that should be good enough for you. Right, now if I want to draw a vertical line from there to there, like on my drawing, from there to there, okay, I still use the linear option. Linear is whether it's horizontal or vertical. It doesn't matter. It's either vertical or horizontal. That's the linear option. And it's sitting over there. Now notice the linear option. If I choose that, if I go back to home, that one and this one is pretty much the same. So I'm going to go to linear. Where's my first point? I'm zooming in. Where's my second point? Now I need to dimension to the end point of the line because from there to there's 42. Right, so I can't guess there, so I'm going to say go to the end point there, and notice there, that will be wrong, pull it out, okay, so somewhere over with your eye like so, if I click there, and there's my 42. Don't worry about this, the distance from the end of there to there is actually a setting, it's called a dimension variable, which I've changed for this drawing, but we're not going to worry about that now, but for our purposes now, this is good enough. So from there to this 42, and it's looking so lekker. And I'm going to do the next one. And I'm going to go to continue, because I want to continue on from there. So it sees the first one. And I want to continue to the end point of that line there. I enter to say there's no more. Escape to be done. It's 41. It's 41. It's looking fabulous. It's looking fabulous. You can do the rest yourself. Okay. Right. A few more. I'm going to put in the radius. I'm going to put in the diameter. I'm going to put in the 13. You can do the rest yourself. Okay, because I've taught all of that now. Right. We want to do diameter. So I go to, let me go back to my home. Go back to there. And I go back to diameter. Select arc or circle. I can click anywhere on it. You can say, I want that one there. You can either put it externally or internally. If there was a tiny circle, you can do that. But that looks a bit neater. You can even do that. AutoCAD will put the text the right way around for you, like so, and it looks so lekker. Do the same thing there. Notice the diameter option is sitting at the top. Click on it, select your circle. You can either put it so, or you can make it so as you want. Now this one here is a bit smaller, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it like so on the outside, like so, and there we go. Just as you want to, so long as the reader of your drawing knows what the diameter of that circle is. Okay, right. Let's put in the radius there. Okay, so we're going to choose the radius option. There we go. So I go to drop down and I choose radius, select arc a circle, click it there, and there we go. I can either put it there, that's not nice, but that's nicer. There we go. Same thing over there, radius over there, put it in like so, put it inside, radius there, you can, oh, I did the wrong thing there. You can either click the circle, you can either put it there or there, just as you want to, and there. It's looking great. Okay, and notice because your dimensions are correct, it measures it correctly. If you've got a bump radius or bump arc or circle, it's going to give you a bump dimension. There we go. Don't tell the lecturer I said it's a bump. Okay, but yeah, you know what I mean. Right, we're almost done. We're going to have to put in the text. I'm going to call it shaped plate. Okay, I'm going to call it shaped plate. Okay, right, let's go to text. And normally text, when you normally name something, when you put a title in our drawing, you normally put the title at the bottom. You do not put it at the top. You don't put it at the side. You normally put it at the top if there's space. Okay, that's a drawing standard drawing practice. Right, I'm gonna go to text single line. Okay, now I'm gonna put auto off there. Now whenever I type something, let's call it shape plate. Okay, specify start point. Now, if I just start typing, AutoCAD is going to give me the bottom left-hand corner of the letter S, and it's going to type to the right. Okay, so whenever you type a letter, every letter in AutoCAD has got a rectangle inside which that letter sits, but it always starts with the bottom left-hand corner of the rectangle. So if I start typing now, we're going to start typing at the bottom left-hand corner of that S. Okay, so let's pick a point. So with my eye, I'm going to say the S is sitting somewhere over there. Now remember, this is a full, sorry, before I forget, let's go to the text layer. My apologies. Nothing major, but let's put it on layer text. Okay, right, go to text again there, go to single line, specify start point. I want it to be somewhere over there. Specify height. Now, heights for text of that is normally about 10. So I'm going to say 10, enter. There we go. Just me 10 millimeters high from there. Specify rotation angle. Now, whenever we're typing text horizontally, it's always 0 degrees. AutoCAD measures angles north to the right, and it goes clockwise up. Maybe I should just explain this. When we write text like that there, if I say text, it will write it like that. That angle will be 0 degrees. If I write text like this, if I write text and I say 90 degrees, it's going to write it like that there. If I specify 180 degrees, it's going to write it down low. It's going to write it like so. Like that over there. Okay, so that's 0, which is the default. We can accept it. That's 90. It's going to go that way. 180 will go. So very seldom we're going to write other than 0 degrees. Okay, if I want to write the word text like this, for example, along a line, say for example like so, and then we're going to choose that point there, and it's going to be the aligned option, and write like that. We give it an angle, but for now it's going to be 0 degrees. Okay, so I accept 0 degrees. I say 0, I say enter, 0, and there we. Now it says, what is your text? It's shape. And because your engineers type correctly and spell properly, shape plate. Okay, here we go. Right, if I hit enter, AutoCAD thinks I want to go to the next line, which we do not want to do. I hit enter again, and it's job done. Sitting there nicely. Notice it's a bit off center. Okay, so we're going to what we're gonna do? We're going to move it. Okay, we're going to move it to the right place. Right, so I go to move. Move what? Select objects. Click anywhere on it. It says select objects there. There's no more. Hit enter to say there's no more. So grab it anywhere. Click there. So so I'm gonna put it somewhere over like in the middle, like so. Click it there, and that's where it's sitting, and it's looking so lekker. Okay, right. So that is how you can do that. But let's say I wrote text and it was way off, and I wanted it to be center. That's what we do. I'm gonna erase it. Go to text, single line. Notice at the bottom there, there's J for justify. I'm going to say J for justify. Notice there's millions of options. I want the center option. Okay. So wherever I click now, that's going to be the center of my text. And I want the center of my text to be somewhere over. Let's say over there like so. Okay. So I want my center of the text to be somewhere over, let's say like there. Specify height. Notice it remembers the last setting. I'm happy with it. I enter. I want it to be not. Enter. And the type, the text is shape plate. My spelling, I'm just talking to myself. Plate. The enter. Here we go. It's sitting exactly equally where I clicked the first time. And it's in the middle. And if it didn't work, you just move it to where you want it to go. And if it was too near, for example, it was sitting like say, which is too near, it's unacceptable. You go to move, you select objects, so no more, hit enter, click anywhere, and you move it to where you want it to go, sitting somewhere over there, and it's looking lekker. There we go. Are we done? We're almost done. Now people, I know this video is almost 51, it's almost an hour long. We've done all of that, okay, and just by the way, I see there's something I didn't do. I want to put in a dimension line there. Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go, right click on there, and I'm going to make nearest my option there, and uncheck that and uncheck that. Okay. And when it finds something nearest, it'll give a little dot like that, and we'll draw that in. Okay. So when I use the dimension option nearest, I don't want that line, All I want is the line between two existing lines. I'm going to use the nearest option. Let's do that. Right, I go to dimension and I go to linear. Right, snap to nearest. I need to put it on in it. See a little X there? So it's found the nearest there. I found the nearest there. I don't want it there. I want it somewhere over there like so, and there's it there. And it is blue by mistake. Why is it blue? Because it's sitting on my dimensions line. Now watch this. This 13, it's sitting on the text layer, okay, or on the dimensions layer, okay. I want to move that to the dimensions layer. So what I do is I highlight it, I just click on it, and notice there, the text, the arrows, and the little lines that come with it is all considered one object in AutoCAD. I go to the drop-down box. I don't click on any of these things here. I click on the drop-down, and I click the word dimensions, move my cursor out of there, I hit enter, and I hit escape, and I moved it onto the layer, so now it's sitting on dimensions layer. Lovely, simple, that's a shortcut. Now let me just show you something here. If you're not sure about it, if you click on, go to properties, and you click on this little properties, see a little arrow there? Click on the arrow. It's very tiny, but as you click on that little drop down there, and this gives you all the attributes, all the properties about that object there. So sorry, let me close it. Let me first click on it, check if it's on the right layer. I go to properties, I click on my drop down there, and it's sitting on layer dimensions. So that object there is sitting on layer dimensions, and that tells you exactly all about it. It tells you the arrow size, it gives you everything about it. So if you want to inquire, it's called an inquiry command. If you inquire about an object's status or attributes, you click on it. I'm going to close it. You click on it, you go to properties, click on the drop down, and you can see how long it is, how short it is, blah, blah, blah. A little more about it just now. So that's on the right layer there. Okay, so I think I've done most of that over there. Right, now people, we want to do a bit more things. I want to hatch. Okay, I want to hatch. And then, something I wish I could add. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to call it Enquiry. I need to spell, isn't it? Enquiry. Here we go. And inquiry commands mean that you want to ask AutoCAD to take some measurements for you. The one we're going to do is called distance. Like typing, distance. And one is going to be area. I think that's going to be basically it. Just there we go. Okay. So we want to do distance area. I'm going to save it. It's under there. So let's do that. Okay, right. So, but the next thing before we do that, I want to do hatching and maybe hatch edit. Okay, because I think you might need it for your little exercise. Now let's say I want to put cross hatching in there. Okay. Now what's hatching? Hatching is like a pattern, like drawing is the language of lines. Hatching is something that you draw so that when the reader looks at it, they can see that is a section through steel, it's a section through brickwork, it's an elevation, it's a section through steelwork, it's a section through soil, earth, granite, stone, whatever. Okay. Now, in the same way that we called up the line types in AutoCAD, AutoCAD has a whole library of hatching patterns, millions. It's so smart, you can design one yourself, which I've never done in my life because there's so many there, and I don't know how to do, so, but I'll show you where to get it. Okay, so let's say we want to put a cross-hatching pattern here that looks something like so. Okay, we want to put in something like this. That looks like this. Let's say like so. Or let's say something like let's say like concrete with like dots and little like dots and stones. We want to do that. Okay, so there's thousands there. I'm going to show you one or two only. Okay, right. Now what you do is we go to draw, and it's sitting over under the hatch. We go to draw and you go to hatch. Right. Now when you hatch something, AutoCAD sees, looks for a totally enclosed, it calls that the boundary, okay? That's why it's called BH. Not BH like Jay-Z says, not that BH, okay? It's BH. Sorry, man, just came to mind, just slid out of my face unexpectedly, okay? BH for boundary edge. Jay-Z didn't know this, or Cool J did, but we know it now because we're smart, and he doesn't know AutoCAD, or she doesn't know AutoCAD. Right. Now, if your boundary looks like this here, with a little opening there that you can't see, it'll hatch it, and it'll hatch right through there until it finds another boundary, and you go, oops, that's called bleeding, okay? So you must give it a completely enclosed hatch to hatch successfully. So AutoCAD looks for that, okay? So, if we have a line, sorry man, what did I do? If we have a line sitting like so, like there, for example, like at the moment, our center lines are there, and if it sees the center lines there, it's gonna hatch from there to there, and it's gonna stop there. Okay, so let's do the hatch. I'm gonna escape. I'm going to hatch over there. Now, there's a whole hatching that comes in which I don't like. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on the drop down over there. That's one way to do it. And I prefer this whole window in front of me so you can also see it there. Okay, so that gives you the type of pattern. There's all the patterns. If I go to the little button there, and there's all my patterns. Okay, there's loads of them. We only use some of them. So there's solid if you want it solid. There's a brickwork pattern. There's a cork. There's unbreakable concrete. There's concrete over there. The scale is a bit tight. There's sand over there. There's floor patterns. And if I go to ISO, there's the steel pattern. And there's a pattern if you're making a vertical cut through brick walls, like we're drawing house plans, blah, blah, blah. ISO, there's more, which we never use. I think that's maybe architectural. Other predefined, that's what we use most of the time. Custom is making one you want. Now, if you're a programmer, you can type in a name there and make it, but I've never used it. There's no need for it. Okay, we want a pattern that somebody understands. So we're going to go to other predefined. So let's choose that one over there. So highlight it. I say okay. And notice there, it changes to there. Okay. Now it's blue, and that tells me we're on the wrong layer. So I'm gonna cancel that. I'm gonna escape, and I'm gonna go to my layer hatch. Sorry, I'm naughty. Oh, there's no layer hatch. Is layer hatching there? Text extension? No, not there. Let's make a new layer. New layer. I'm gonna call it hatching. There we go. Okay. And I'm gonna make it green. I'm gonna make it green, and I'm gonna leave it continuous. You don't change that. Okay. And notice here, I'm gonna click the button next to it there, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say make layer hatching current when I close the window. I'm gonna close the window, and layer hatching is current. So that's another way to make that layer current. Okay. Right. So let's go to hatching. I'm gonna click the drop down over there, and yippee, it's green. So I'm on layer hatching. Okay. I need to change my pattern again. I'm going to go to NC31. I'm going to say OK that. And it's green. And it's going to look like so. It tells you what the color is. It tells you what the name is. And it tells you what's going to look like. Now, because we're on an A4 page, I'm going to leave angle and scale at the moment for the same there. Pick points. Right. Go to pick points. Click the button there. Now, it says there, pick internal point. Now, notice there, if I click there, or click there, or click there, it's going to go from one boundary, and where it sees the first line at once. So what's happening there? So the dimensions and the center lines is in its way. Wrong. So what we're going to do, we're going to have to erase it, but no, but we're not going to erase it. I'm going to escape. We're going to go to, what we're going to do is, I'm going to go to layers, and I am going to turn off layer dimensions. Now be very careful. All of these things do different things. So I'm going to turn layer, so that is blue, that is off. Okay. And I'm going to turn the center line layer off. Okay. Notice it's blue. Okay. Notice it's blue. And if I go to, okay, I just want to show you it's blue. So layer centers is off and layer dimensions off. So I'm going to close it there. Yippee. So can you see there, when you put objects on another layer, you've got more control over to do what you want to in future in the drawing there. Right, now I'm going to put in my hatch patterns like that there for my circles. It's not on the circles there, but I'm just using that to show you how we are going to hatch a boundary, which happens to be that circle over there. Right, we go to hatch. I'm going to go to my drop down. You can follow this here, which I don't like, but you can learn that if you want to. Right, it's still there. Pick points. Yippee, there's it over there. It's the dimensions and the center lines is out of the way, so it sees the whole circle as, so if I click there, and if I like it, I hit enter, it says there, if I hit enter, and it does it there. Okay, but let's just say, I wanted that lines to be closer to each other. What I can do is, I'm going to erase it. I just undo that. I'm going to go to hatch. Go to my drop down. It's still sitting there because it remembered from last time. I'm going to make my scale, let's say 0.5 or 7.5. I want those lines closer to each other. And notice the default is 1. Pick points is over there. Notice that's an internal. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. I can do it there. Pick point there. I'm happy with it. If I'm not happy, I can hit T for settings at the bottom. If I hit T at the bottom there, I go back to my settings dialog window, and I can change it there. But I'm happy. I say OK. I hit enter. That's all done. Okay. And I'm going to put another pattern over there and another pattern there. I'm going to put in the same pattern there of another type but at the same time. Go to hatch. Go to my drop down there. I'm gonna make it other predefined. I'm gonna put in some, what do I want? I'm gonna put in some, let's say concrete. Let's see, concrete, gravel, X, concrete there. Say okay. Right. Make that smaller. Make it 0.5. Go to pick points. Oh no, that's too dense. Go back T for settings, and I'm gonna make it 5. Okay, and I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna go to pick points. That's too dense. That's too dense. No, that's too dense. Okay. See, for settings, maybe I'm choosing the wrong pattern, but I need to play around. I'm going to make that 20. Okay. The points. I'm not right here. I'm not doing something right. Let me just check what I'm doing here. People, uh, I just, with hatching patterns, quite often you have to play around with the scale. Okay. And I wanted to put in a concrete pattern because, we're civil engineers, but I had to bump down the scale quite a bit. So let's do that again. I had to play that, but yeah, I didn't want to mess about while the video was on. Go to hatching, go to options. I choose the arc-conc option there, which was found under other predefined. I said okay to that. And I made the scale 0.01. I made it very tiny. Okay. Points. There we go. So there's, can you see there? I can make it a bit bigger. But if I click there, and if I click there, hit enter, escape, here we go. So you can hatch a number of points at the same time, but you can see there's my concrete. You can change the color. If that's not a nice color, I can maybe put it on I can make it another color. I can select it there. So let me just select it. Oh, what did I do there? I made something naughty there. Okay, select it there. Yeah, you can change the color, but you have to change the color. But you might want to bump up the scale. Okay, but there you go. So now you know how to hatch. Okay. If, for example, you want to hatch something that looks something, if you want to put a hatch in an area, for example, let's say like a portion of earth. If I go to, say, if I go to plate, go to layer 0. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot to turn the layer on. Okay. Right. So when we're done, I almost forgot this. When you're done with the hatching and you're happy with it, you can go back and turn your layers all back on like you're supposed to. It's telling me that. So I'm turning it on, escape out of there to clear all of that, and there we go. It's just looking great. Okay. So now you can turn the layers back on after you've done all of that. Okay, just maybe another extra tip for hatching. Let's just say I got a line that looks like this, changing my layer. Let's say I've got a line that looks like this. Ah, man, go to line. And I have let me just see, let me turn it off there. And let's just say I want to put in a portion of hatching there. For example, I go to line, I can do this like so. I'm going to go, maybe say like so. Okay, then I go to hatch. And I'm going to put in, let's say, that same layer like I did there. It's back there again. I'm going to bump up the scale slightly. I'm going to say, make it say 0.0. I'm going to make it 0.08. Let's see, 8. Okay. Add big points. Okay, which is that over there. There we go. Click inside. I'm happy with it. I hit enter. And then you can go in, zoom in, and go in there. And then I can erase all of, but be careful. If you just touch a dot there, if you just touch a dot of that there, you're raising a pattern. So enter, and there we go. So if you had, let's say, a roadway, okay, and you want to just put in a portion of hatch in there, you can just draw in a rough line, hatch it, and of course, if you have a note to say whatever it is, remove the boundary, and it looks good. Okay, that's another way to draw hatching and take the boundary out afterwards. Right, people, I'm going to erase it, but then now watch here. I'm going to erase. I'm going to put the window bottom right corner, top right corner like so. I'm going to erase everything at once, hit enter, and it's gone. Okay, I'm almost done. This video is about 1 hour and 8 minutes long. So let's see how far we're going with our commands there. We've done all. We need to just save and print. Well, of course, you know how to save. You go to file, the normal way file, save as, and of course it will give it a .wg a file name extension, and call it what you want and save it, and you're done. Save it something that you know, so if you retrieve it, you know where it is. Okay, you know that from grade R school. Your grade R teacher taught you that. Right, people. Then your lecture tells me that you want to save this as a PDF. You print it. What you do is you print it to a PDF. Okay, right now my drawing is an A4 size drawing, So what I'm going to do is this. Right. I'm going to go to Printer Manager, or Plotter Manager, sorry. AutoCAD likes to plot, not print. It just calls it the same thing. Right. Give it a plotter name. And my one is going to be this one over here, because I'm at home. Saturday morning, and I'm working while I'm at home, while you hopefully not recovering from a nice party last night. I thought I'll do it today. My life is very boring. And it's A4. Right. Now, what I suggest, there's many ways to print. You can print display, extents, limits. Okay. I'm going to print window. So I can select what I want. Say window. Right. Now it's going to ask for a first corner. I normally choose the top left and the bottom right. Okay. Right. So I'm going to choose first corner there, next corner like so. Okay. Over there. Okay. Right. Now, fit to paper, if it's A4, I'm assuming, center the plot, so it looks great. And whatever, notice there, my plot is sitting the wrong way around. We want to landscape it. So now it's fitting almost on my whole page. Okay, right. Now to, hang on, I forgot, I should have said this. My apologies. I should have said this, sorry. Not to printer. You need to choose this option here. Drawing to PDF. There we go. Drawing to PDF. That's okay. A4, I chose center the plot. I've landscaped it. And now when you're all done, you're happy with it, you say okay. Hang on. And you say okay. Let me rather give you a printer option, so it shows you what it looks like first. Let me first give you a printer option. Okay, go to that one there. I already chose it there. It's for the paper, landscape. Go to okay. And if I had to print it, okay. Oops, I didn't want it. Oops. It's printing it. I've done it. Okay, just ignore that. Right, I want to show you. Let's just say you wanted to print it conventionally. Okay, you go to Plotter, you go to Plotter Manager. You choose your printer or plotter, whichever, but as I said, AutoCAD likes to call it a plotter. And that's my home printer over there. I'm going to give it a window. Ask for the first corner. Ask for the other corner. So centralize your drawing nicely, because what you see is going to print here. Center the plot. And you want to landscape it. Okay. And you do print preview. Okay. So if you print it now, that's what's going to look like. Okay. But that's for an A4 page. If you've got a drawing that's bigger, you might want to compress it down. So whatever the size is, you might, but remember, if your drawing is bigger than an A4, okay, and you choose window, that means it's going to squeeze everything down smaller. You need to think about the size of your text and of your dimension text, your dimension arrows, and your text. You might need to bump it up. Okay, so just be aware of that. Okay, I don't want to print this the normal way. I'm going to right click. I'm going to say exit. Okay, but I want to save this. I want to save this as a PDF, like your lecture said she wants you to do. So I'm going to go to my Plotter Manager again, and I'm going to choose where am I? Drawing to PDF. Right. I'm going to choose window, so I can give it a nice size because my drawing is sitting in there on my page. Top left corner, bottom right corner. Choose it so that it looks nicely centralized. Okay. And I'm going to center the plot, and I'm going to landscape it. Let me see if I can do a preview. Oh, there we go. It does a preview as well. Okay, exit. And then you say okay. And because you turn it into PDF, you say okay. It's going to give you an option to save it in a place where you want it to know. And then, so when you save it, you'll see there, it will give you the drawing, whatever the name you want to call it. And it's going to give it a .pdf file and extension so that you can email it to somebody. And if a lecturer wants it to look at it, or it will be in the PDF format. So that means somebody who doesn't have AutoCAD on their machine will be able to, well, I'm assuming they got Adobe Acrobat, but in the machine, everybody got it, then they can read it as well. Okay, people, herewith ends the lesson. It's been very long. It's been an hour, almost an hour and a quarter. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you learned a lot of bits. And I think with this, you'll be able to have all the tools to be able to do the drawing that your lecturer is going to assign you to do with a bit of extra. Okay. Happy weekend and see you soon, hopefully. I'm going to cancel this, okay?